All right. So, hey, I want to say thank you to the, looks like 4 people that are here. Oh, hey, Adam. All those empty cases. Yeah. Hey, John. So can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up if everything's good on the audio. Because I think, hey, Douglas, thanks for showing up, man. Going to get to see your car tonight. I believe it was you and Scott and Bruce that got the first 4. Hey, Pete. Hey, Mike. Sounds good. Okay, cool. Okay, so once again, just like last week, I don't know what's going on with StreamYard, but irregardless, I have to do the switching the microphone thing whenever I'm ready to do lap times around the track and stuff. So I figure, cool. Thank you guys for confirming. And I see there's a little bit of a delay. I'm having to watch on my phone, so I make sure that I don't miss something because of the way StreamYard's comments have been coming through. So I apologize to anybody if I miss anything. But while I am a little early, one of the things that some people ask me, besides Novus, which is one of the things that you may hear of, a product that a lot of us use for polishing our slot cars after you get them all cleaned up, and putting that extra like shine on them. And so one extra step that I've learned that makes them just that one step farther than that. So I wash them in Dawn as long as they don't have any water slide or peel and stick stickers on it, and then use Dawn and a soft toothbrush to clean the body, and then obviously dry it off. And then I use Novus and polish it up that way. And then it's the final touch is what I found. And this is what I've been putting on all my personal cars, is Cerakote. There it is. I know it says automotive sealant and stuff, and it even includes 2 microfiber towels. So what I do is I soak the body in the ceramic coat, and then I rub it in with one towel. And then whenever I feel like I've rubbed enough ceramic coat all over the body, then I grab the next towel, and then that's when I try to polish it to a good shine. I just noticed that like the Novus adds a little more, like rehydrates the plastic per se. And then this stuff actually just kind of like, makes it just that little bit more of a shiny. So I strongly recommend it if you're wanting to go that extra mile. And I understand some people don't want to spend that kind of money for something like that, but that's what I use. And then whenever I'm doing auction cars, I just use straight Novus because obviously this stuff's more expensive. Hey, Luke. No, I don't use olive oil. Hey, Jim. Hey, John. Thanks, man. Nope. I figured since I'd be pulling triggers tonight, I'd be doing that. Fell off a ladder yesterday and was being Mr. Gimpy. And then, so I took 2 showers today and then stood and soaked until the hot water started running out, and then took more medication and, yeah. Hey, Bruce. Fred, sorry. Hey, Doug. Did you get the email? Your package is on the way. Well, it left here today anyway. I don't know. Wow, 22 people. Thank you guys for showing up. And like I said, just to make sure that I'm not missing comments and stuff, I'll check my phone too. Hey, Scott. Hey, dude. Okay, yeah, so we're doing pretty good. As long as we're not flying in numbers like on the Saturday night giveaways, then I think StreamYard can keep up. You're good, buddy. No, I'm sorry about the hassle. I've been using 16-bit. I've been using Novus for 9 years, and none of my bodies have shown any after effects whatsoever. That's not to say that maybe in 15 years or more, but ever since I've been using it, I've had zero like yellowing or tarnishing or anything. All it does is rehydrate the plastic and bring the plastic a little bit more to life and shines it up. But that doesn't mean that I can't be wrong in the future. But as of right now, that's why I recommend it. I'm not out to harm anybody's stuff. It has a 45 on it. Nice. Hey, Rick, thanks for showing up, man. And Rick, this will be interesting for you too, buddy, because I found an upgrade that I would suggest to anybody that has one of my silver chassis that purchased them in the past or won one as one of my giveaways or as a gift or something like that. But I mean, like I said, I started early, so I'll give it a couple minutes. And I've got a little stool that I'll probably have to sit down some when I'm making laps every so often. Like I said, I'm better, but you know. Yeah, Keith. Well, it was my own stupid fault, you know, the old brain and body thing, and I was helping my parents put a netting cover over their blueberry bushes. Over they got it in a sealed in thing to keep the rabbits out and the deer out and the raccoons out, and then they saw that birds were flying in over the top of it and getting in there, and so anyway, they made like a little cage around there, and so we put netting over it and on one side I had to get into the field, and you know, fields aren't exactly level and it's on a hill anyway where it was. Long story short, only 3 out of the 4 legs of the ladder were touching the ground. I thought I could balance the ladder and do what I needed to do. First mistake was thinking. Second mistake was actually doing what I thought I could do. What's the open space on the TYCO wall? Nope, there's no open space on the TYCO wall. Well, that one right there, that's just because the corner of the TV hits there and I didn't want to damage anything. Hey, Dave. Hey, Steve. Yeah, this one right there. Yeah, that's because of the. Hey, Mark. Yeah, I know. I saw how he felt, but I landed in a field with some grass, so all I got was, you know, some scratches and stuff like that. So, and my hip kind of hurts, but my arm slid out, so my shoulder was really bothering me today. So, I have a variety of cars for us to put up on the track tonight. So if you're going to get bored watching somebody run laps with cars, you may get bored pretty quick because I have a lot of stuff that I want to show some people. The least of which is the 4 people that bought the silver, or the 3 people that bought the silver chassis in the first week, and then the 4 or 5 people that are going to get one built, and then I'll show those off Friday running on the track. So they'll get a preview of what to expect with their cars. And so if you missed Saturday night show, I mentioned that one of my silver package cars that I had been testing basically with to make sure that it was good before I let it leave, and I had to make some tweaks to it. I was running it around with an open chassis, no body on it whatsoever. So I put over 640 laps on that chassis, and I told Bruce that I just rebuild it. Well, I'm just going to build Bruce a brand new chassis because I want to see how many laps I can put on that thing before it starts falling off. Because I know roughly that now, including today, it's got around 650, 655. So Bruce will have a brand new spanking 2 of them brand new that haven't been really ran really hard like that one has. And so he'll get to see both of them run. And so what I'm going to be doing, just so you know, the only change that's going to be different is because I only have a limited number of silver shoes. And so I'm sorry I can't test complete apples to apples, but I am using the Viper ski shoes for all the testing. So tonight, what I'm going to do is before I put somebody's new chassis on, I'll show the silver shoes on it. Then I'll take the silver shoes off and I'll put these on. And with these dual springs, guys, I'm telling you, it's so much easier to change your pickup shoes. It's not even funny. So even if you don't want me to build a chassis, build your own, have fun. And then use those dual springs, and it'll make your life a whole lot easier compared if you go back and watch the build video that I did. Seeing those little itty bitty single springs that you can barely see, that you can barely pick up, that you have to, at least with the dual springs, a grown man can use his fingers and pinch them together and put them on. Oh yeah, man. This is translucent. This was one of my. It was going to be one of my TYCO runners if I could ever convince the crew to do it. And so I thought, well, hell, this thing would be great to use as the test body for all the wide chassis cars that I build, because everybody would be able to see it on the track really easy. And hopefully, if that means if the car's fast. Oh, cool, Keith. Congrats, man. Hey, Mike. Hope you and Steffi and the kids are doing well. Wow, up to 40 people. Um, so the sharp eye will notice that there were a couple of big major changes when I just showed you this chassis, and I'll get it a little closer. And then what I'm going to do is I've got a piece of paper and a pen. And so before I explain this, what the first thing we're going to run is a bone stock Mega G Plus F1 car with the stock tires. Everything's stock. And I'm going to run it for, 10 laps, because, 5 seconds a lap, that's, that's not that bad. Less than a minute. And then I'm going to run a modified G Plus chassis. And what I mean by modified, it has one extra traction magnet. Once again, thanks to my buddy Mark with Mark's Lot Car Garage that gave us that tip. And it's just a stock additional traction magnet in the back. And then you can see it's got the stock hubs on it. And I put Viper tires on it. That's the only change that's been done to this one. So we'll get 10 laps with it. We'll write down the lap time. Then I thought it would be cool to work our way to the modified TYCO. So I've got them right here on the track. So I've got the bone stock chassis here with bone stock tires that we ran the first time, but in reality, it's not really a fair test because most people would change out the tires. So what I thought I would do is since I'll take I'll try to make a couple of laps with this thing, but we're not really going to be too serious about trying to get a real solid time with those factory tires, because they're really not a representation of what you would be really trying to run. But I've got an axle with some tires, and we'll slap it into every single one of the factory ones, so at least they have some grippy tires. And when I say every one, I've got a 440 Magnum chassis, this factory, but like I said, we'll only make 3 or 4 laps with the factory sponge tires. Then I'll swap out the rear end again. And then I told G-Bud that I would run the 440 the 440 Magnum, and I put some silver shoes on it, and then I put that Neo magnet. So it's got that Neo magnet bar in it instead of the factory bar, just to show you guys again. And I've got an old busted Pennzoil body that has a narrow 440 X2 in it, but I'll just swap it out. And so if we want to run a factory narrow, we can, but I don't have any of those that I can build right now. But anyway, so once we get done with all of those, writing all of those down or whatever, then we'll come to the final car of the TYCO versions anyway, and that is the silver package car. And so I'll take it off the 908 translucent body here. So just to remind everybody, if you're just seeing this car for the first time, I took a stock 440 X2 chassis, just like what you saw right there. Except this one was bare, and I sold the ones that were bare already. So all I have now is the ones that have wheels, which you can also get at protinkertoys.com, protinkertoys.com. And then you can get some of those factory parts like I showed in the first build night. But irregardless, so just to remind everybody, I've got Pro 4 Viper motor magnets. I've got Pro 8 Viper traction magnets. I've got a Viper dual hub assembly rear end, 250 diameter, which is 1/4 inch. And then I'll explain the change in the tires here in just a second. I'm running Silver Springs from Wizard with their 80/20 brushes, and then I'm running dual springs from Wizard with a set of silver springs as part of the silver package. But as part of the testing package, I've got a set of Viper ski shoes. And then I've got for right now, I'm going to get with Steve and see if I can't get some of his other types of independent front ends. But for right now, I found that the fastest one that I can get is right now that I have, I'll put it that way, a Wizard aluminum independent front end. And then I did have to increase the tire diameter size on the O-ring. And then on the backside here, I usually buy these rear ends complete. But once I'm out of them complete, now that I know I've got a better tire size to help save cost for everybody, I'm just going to start ordering those axles with these tires. And so that brings me to the major change that I found in my chassis right here. So Adam called me like 10 minutes before I got the doorbell ringing. And what you're seeing here is 10 sets of Viper silicone S2 black 436 diameter tires. And if you remember from the last show, I had some that were too short and I had some that were too tall. And so I guess somewhere between 336 and 338. And so I went with as low as I can go, and I went for broke. And I put these on there, and lo and behold, broke. They're too low. They actually started dragging. And you're thinking, oh, Scott, what a waste of money. No, I got plenty of uses for these things. They'll be all right. Like I said, they're a 250 hub, and a quarter inch hub is a very common hub diameter. So I just got some expensive tires for some other chassis. No big deal. That's the way I'm looking at it. But these are the tires that are going to become the standard tires on my chassis, as long as they don't drag on future chassis, which they shouldn't. But if they do, then I'll go up in the tire diameter. But these are the Viper albinos. So just to read it off exactly, these are the Viper PST firm rear tires albinos, 436 narrow. And you're saying, well, Scott, if you were paying attention, you're saying, well, Scott, didn't you just say those 436s that you just said, they drag? Yeah, they did. That's because the traction magnets were pulling down those softer tires and allowing it to drag. I wouldn't have thought it. Put these bad boys on, and within 3 laps, I'll show you, this thing ran a 4.19 seconds with this body, with these tires, and no drag marks. And another thing I'd like to point out, if you remember the build, the reason why I like to use those dual springs versus the single springs on a TYCO build is because the way it holds the shoe flat. If I'm hoping that the camera will show this, but look at that. Look at the lines on those shoes. They're right up the middle, and they cover the whole shoe. That as a hobbyist, if you're wanting to tweak your cars, that's what you want on all your shoes. That's what you hear when everybody says they're tweaking their shoes. That's what they're doing. They're trying to get that as flat as possible, as straight as possible in the middle of the shoe. And you're saying, well, why is that so important? In case you don't know, the more contact you can have with the rail, it gives your car and motor a chance to connect with more of the electricity. So more is better in these little motors, and electricity is our fuel. So anything that you can do to help electricity get to that little armature is going to make your car faster. And that is why I put silver shoes on there, silver brush springs and pickup springs. And then I used to use silver brushes, but then I found out that after so many laps of hard running, they would start breaking down. So I just quit using them. You know, that's why I'm so impressed that this chassis right here literally has gone at least 655 laps on a 69.5 foot track. And I literally within like I said, 3 to 4 laps, ran a 419. So somewhere around that 655, 656, 54, whatever. So very durable car. It's been crashed a bunch, and it's keeps licking and keeps on ticking. I build all these cars exactly the same. So everything you saw me do on last Monday night show, with all the little tweaks that I did that I've learned, and I even did the magnet thing that G-Bud and Mark tried. And so we'll see if those other chassis that I did that to run any quicker than this one. And I've already made the upgrade on the O-rings, and I just use a taller O-ring from Wizard. And all I'll have to do on those other new chassis that I built, like I said, I'm going to swap the shoes off so I don't ruin their brand new silver shoes. And then I'll swap the tires out for the albinos. And then I'll put some oil on it. And then it goes on, you know, gets the body put on it. It gets on the track. And then my goal is to make sure that we see that all the 3 that are built right now, because I'm going to be building Fred another one. Because I've got all the parts now, obviously, and the people that bought them this last Saturday night. So you're getting to see what your cars are going to run like. They should all run within 2 to 3 tenths of a second of each other. So they should all run anywhere from, we'll just call it a 419 to a 430, 440. And so, like I said, tonight we're going to start the show off with a bone stock factory Mega G Plus with factory tires, factory magnets, nothing hopped up, nothing done to it. And then I'll run it for 10 laps unless I'm crashing a bunch. And then I don't want to torture people. And then we'll get a lap time on the fastest lap time for it. And then we'll do that with the modified G Plus. Then we'll work our way down the TYCOs. And then depending on time, you know, because I know it's just Monday night. I know people have lives. You know, we'll decide on how many of those TYCO chassis that we run. But since I'll be back on Friday night, any of the other TYCO chassis, if I think we're running close on time, I'll just show the one that's been modified with the Neo magnets, and then we'll go into the others later at a later date, because I do want those people that purchase their chassis to see their cars run on the track, just like the people that purchase them Saturday night, this last Saturday night, are going to get to see them this Friday night, if they're so inclined. So without further ado, I'm going to split up the camera here. Wow. Hey, everybody. Thanks for showing up tonight, man. I haven't been keeping up with the chat, so I apologize. Hey, Keith, Kimber, Tommy. No sniping tonight. Got the Tommy gun put away. Nice. Tonight is your pick off the wall for the special winner. Let's get it. All right. No, Douglas, you're cool, man. All right. So if you didn't catch it early, just like last time when I was live on Monday night, oh, man, I got to learn to stand up a little slower. I have to swap the audio whenever I'm doing the lap time stuff, so you guys can hear the TV and hear if I make a fast lap, if you're not keeping up with the lap timer, because I'm getting ready to do a split screen. But I wanted to show you exactly what I was talking about with the testing on the cars. So give me a second here. Hey, G-Bud. I saw your video. So real quick before I swap over the cameras, and then you guys tell me which view of the camera you like better, because I got like 3 different views of the track set up in the camera, so I can switch them around. You guys tell me which one you like better. But then tonight, after tonight's show, go check out G-Bud's video if you didn't on Saturday night, like I recommended. And then when you're done watching him with the truck, then you need to go to Jim Slot Car Obsessions, watch him walk to his mailbox and open up that truck and get it on his track. It's really cool. So awesome looking truck. Jim, thank you for sharing all that. And G-Bud, awesome work again, buddy. All right, so let me swap the camera. And I'll get out of the way. There we go. So that's view number 1. That's view number 2. And that's view number 3. So you guys tell me 1, 2, or 3. I'll go back to. Two? Okay. Thank you, guys. So that one right there. Okay, I can swap them back and forth. Here, I'll move this one over a little bit so we get more of the track. There you go. So in case this is your first time here, thank you, A, for joining. But B, just to give a reminder, like I mentioned, my track is 69.5 feet, 4-lane AFX all the way through. I have a Biasu timing system. This is a 4x8 sheet of plywood this way. And then I have an additional 54 inches this way. So about another 4.5 feet this way. So yeah, 69.5 feet. And so let's have some fun. Let me swap over the camera audio and then let's get it going. 2.5, nice, Kimber. And then Paul, we'll go to 3 here after a bit. We'll swap them around, no big deal. Let me mute. So can you guys hear me now? Sorry. No sound. Okay. How about now? Yes. Okay. Well, I know if I unmute my TV, so basically you guys are just going to have to watch the TV for lap times. Because if I unmute the TV where you can hear it, we're going to get feedback, even though I've got the other mic muted. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's what I'm going to have to do. For some reason, that mic isn't picking up tonight, but I know that for some reason, whenever I unmute the TV, it starts echoing real bad, even though I'm not on it. So let's see here. Let's get this party started. And sorry, well, let's see. Look at that. People couldn't hear me or were already bored and already left. So here, let me get it back on so I can see what you guys are seeing in the chat while I'm over here, because I'm going to move the camera around so I can kind of kind of see. Oh, thank you, Doug. See, I noticed I'm scooting. All right, so I don't want it all the way over there and I even have the grabber ready to go, so just in case. So, all right, so just to remind everybody, the best lap that you saw there is a 4.196, and that was set by my silver package car with the albino tires. But I am going to clear it now because I do want to get out the pen and paper now that we've got that issue taken care of. That way we can start writing down some lap times. And that way people can see. So we'll put stock Mega G Plus. G Plus. And then I'm going to put Indy body just so we know what kind of body was on there. You know, because I know somebody might say it's not completely fair if you don't do the same body. And I would agree. But, you know, we're not doing any scientific testing tonight. This is just a relative test. So let me clear out the lap times. Let's go. Well, see, we're off to a good start. Oh. Nice. All right, so 3 more laps without a crash. Without a crash. Okay. All right, so I'm going to write down 5.005 for the stock one. Crashing is half the battle, yes, Luke. Eating a hot fudge sundae. All right, Timothy. 1, 2, 5, 6, kind of slow. Yeah, no, it's bone stock, you know, and every time I tried to push it really hard on the flat corners, obviously with the stock tires, you know, just going to take it. But it's going to get to redeem itself a little bit. At least the chassis will. I know my head's half cut off. Oh, shouldn't have done that either. So you guys will just have to put up with it. I apologize. But anyway, I'm going to write that down first. 5.05, 12 laps. 5.005. All right. So now we're going to be doing my Mega G Plus with the stock hubs and 1 extra traction magnet and Viper tires, my Mustang. All right, so there we go. Stock Mega G Plus, tires plus 1 traction mag. And once again, thank you to Mark with Mark's Car Garage for that recommendation. That's a cheap upgrade. So, all right. So I'm going to knock out those. No, I'll leave it up there just to see. So here we go. Whoa. All right. That's about right. I have ran a 450 before, but you know, not in maybe 10 laps and not with the whole world watching me. So I think we'll write it down as a 462.2. Silicone, Timothy. Good question. Oh, first time? Yeah. Yeah. That was me creeping, crawling around the track there, Paul. 4.622. And that was in 13. Well, we'll call it 12 because I stopped right there. And I only crashed one time. So, you know, I think I could have pushed it a little harder. Oh, yeah, no. That's just showing you that one little two upgrades, basically one extra traction magnet and a set of tires. And you can see, even though this Mustang has a higher center of gravity by far, it still outran it by, 0.4 of a second easy. And if I was, had a few more laps and was getting in a rhythm, I know I can get it into the 450s. But for the sake of fair comparison, we're doing them all 12 laps, with crashes. And so 4.622. So we went from a 5.005 down to a 4.622 with bone stock hubs, rear end, only tires and a magnet did that. So pretty impressive if you ask me. I mean, those are great little chassis. Low maintenance. The only thing that I have a problem with is their can motors that you would end up having to replace, that you can't maintenance at all. So with every TYCO except for the narrow pans, I'm going to run this 908 body, and just for giggles, we're going to try to make a few laps with a factory brand new. Well, I guess not brand new. We ran it last week. So as of last week, Monday, last Monday, it was brand new. And it's got the harder rubber tires. They are still spongy, but, it is what it is. We'll see. Yeah. Oop. See, I gunned it coming out of the bank corner and I didn't even make it a lap. That's not a good sign. I know it's the tires, so that's why I got the rear in there. Let's try to get at least one good lap. I'm going to give it 2 more laps with the factory tires, and if I can't beat a 629, then I'm going to go ahead and pop in the rear end. Okay, well, we're not even going to go 2 laps. We're just going to do it. Obviously, that's a futile effort. So let me write down stock with stock tires. That's horrible. Those tires are just old, guys. I mean, they're original. Those chassis haven't been made in 30 plus years, some of them. So, you know, stock rubber. And it ran 6.29. 2. And we'll call it 6 laps. Even though it didn't even make it six laps because it crashed. Now what I'm going to do is, since I upgrade both ways with a wide hub single flange or a double flange with a narrow tire, whichever the person that I'm building the car for wants me to do. And so to keep things as fair as possible with the tires and everything, I just want to put in a Viper rear end with single flange hubs. And these are 438 tires, which are really close to those shrunk up rubber ones that we just saw. So let me pop out the rear end. We'll pop it back on the track and run it for 5 laps and get a lap time. Please. Am I getting put in the penalty box, Keith? Unapproved modifications, maybe? All right. This should run a lot better, even with the factory traction magnet, just because of the tires. Oh, yeah. Hey, hey. I'd call that a success. So just to put that in perspective, all I did was change the rear end, which has the same factory 23 teeth on it, and change the tires to a Viper silicone. No, these are super tires, sorry. And my wide ones are super tires. So super tire, 438 diameter wide, and it still has the factory front hubs on it with the factory shoes and everything. And I'm going to say 526. That's pretty salty for a factory TYCO. That was in 7 laps. No, and I can tell you right off the bat, that would be a lot more fun car to drive. So even if you didn't want to do all these modifications, I know half my head's cut off, but I can't bend down. I'm sorry. Even if you didn't want to do all these modifications at the car that I'm going to show you that has my silver package that I just ripped off at the beginning, you can just put tires on it, and you can see how much of a difference it made. I mean, over a second, literally. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Just tires. And I'll put 438. So pretty cool. So just to give you an example, if you had a stock Mega G Plus, we ran a 5005, and if you put tires on your TYCO, and you know, got to know your car a little better, you could probably run with a stock Mega G Plus if you were, you know, a little more skilled than the person. You know, maybe give yourself a challenge, give them the fast car, and you try to catch them with that. But still, for a car that's 25, 27 years old, and for me just to put tires on it, that's impressive. So good job, TYCO. Anybody got any questions besides firing me? And Keith wanting me to go to the driver's, go to the tower to get a talking to? While I'm looking at the chat, I'll get the rear end out because we're going to be using it again. Hell yeah. Dave, I'm right there with you, buddy. So once again, that was a bone stock TYCO. I redeemed myself. Nice. Thanks, Doug. So we'll leave the rear end there. What are we doing on time? 7:42. Well, I'm only going to go till 9 o'clock tonight, my time. So we got some time. I'll do it. Let me swap the body. I want to put this 440 on there. So once again, bone stock factory. This will be the first time I've ever ran this one. And it has, so it's a 440 Magnum. It's got the single bar and it's got the factory sponge tires. These aren't the rubber ones. These are sponge. So let me write that down. Stock F1 body. Well, that was because his head was bouncing off the roll bar so many times to keep from crashing. So we'll see how well this thing holds on the track. I'm not going to torture everybody, but I do want to try to give it a decent, fair shot to try to run a decent time. So, well, once again, we're off to a bad start. Oh boy. Okay. I'm going to try to make one lap without crashing. Those foam tires are a joke. Even though you can sponge them down, yeah, they're pretty slick. I can't even go a lap. Oh my God. Okay, so Scott's saying uncle already on that, and I'm going to swap out the rear end. That was pathetic. Well, so old factory attached to the rim tires from TYCO. Just plan on getting a new rear end. You're just gonna have to do it. So, oh, okay, 22.4, 21.2. Okay, that was pathetic. I'm embarrassed to even write that down. But if the Porsche guy got called into the tower, then I know I just did 2 laps. That's all I could handle. And then this is with tires and rear end. Hey, Danny. Another Porsche driver. Well, let's see what happens if we put a Ford driver in. Well, we're off to a good start. Well, just like a Ford driver, he tried to take a corner too fast and saw some crowd and tried to take him out. Yeah, that bar magnet stinks. But with those tires, at least I'm able to make laps, which even if they're slow laps, they're laps. All right. So 6:45. Yeah, I'd say a 15-second improvement's pretty good, but that traction magnet's really holding it back. Or lack of traction magnet, I should be more specific. 6 laps. All right, so the next one we're going to throw underneath this very same body. The only thing that I've done to it is I'm going to go ahead and swap out the rear end that I put in this one. And then it's going to have those Neo magnets from Black Cat Racing. And it's got some silver shoes on it that are just single spring. So I didn't even modify the spring. I just put the shoes on there. So. Oh, wow. Yeah, it should run a lot better just based on me putting it on the track. So we'll see. Uh-oh. Spun a tire. I've done that. Never done that before. Oh, I bet I didn't put them back on whenever I cleaned them. Okay. The pit crew guys gets to see the crew chief. Oh boy. Yeah, that's a whole lot more fun car to drive. Whole lot more fun. They hit hard, fast, can count on it. Nice. Yeah, no. So I can honestly, to anybody that is looking, I'm sorry. Once again, I know I'll try to hold this as long as I can. Anybody that is looking to upgrade your factory Magnum 440 TYCO chassis and get away from that bar magnet and put these Neo magnets on it and put some tires on it. What, 475 is what I'm seeing. Tires, rear end, mags, and silver shoes. And 475. Yeah, so that's right there with that. Okay, so just a quick rundown. The stock Mega G Plus with stock tires, stock everything, 5.05. The one extra magnet with tires, 4622. The 440 X2 with stock rubber, 6.292 with tires and that rear end. It dropped it down a full second, 5.26. Then the Magnum 440 with sponge tires. I couldn't even hardly make it a lap because they're so bad, 21.22. And then I just added that rear end with the tires, and it made it a 6.452. But there's the big improvement. Adding those magnets, tires, and the shoes brought it down to a 4.75. So 4.75 is right up there with that Mega G Plus with the extra traction magnet and shoes with those Neo magnets in that stock chassis. So that's very impressive, guys. Very impressive. I'm impressed. I'm replacing mine now. Yeah, I tell you guys that I don't endorse something just because it's given to me, and I bought those, and because there is no replacement magnet for the 440 Magnum Narrow chassis, and as you can see right there, guys, I mean, you saw it stay on the track a whole lot better. Yeah, no, it's and with tires, it's I call that a winner. I can fully endorse them. Let me get this card so I can show everybody again, because that's impressive performance upgrade. So if you're looking for those Neo magnets, he's on eBay, and then you can also go to him directly and email him, and you might be able to get him cheaper since he doesn't have to pay the eBay fees, and do it that way. So I know that those aren't going to hold a hop up motor as well as like the Viper magnets will. But if you're not wanting to hop up your motor at all, that's a great upgrade. Yeah, I can't recommend that enough. I'm thoroughly impressed by that. I'm glad you guys got to see that tested true and live. That was pretty cool. And what time is it? Oh, Rick, yeah. Black Cat Racing. I'll hold it up there again. And then I'm sure they pressed them in there, G-Bud, and try to be a press fit. And I'm just sure a little dab of super glue. But if you can find another magnet that's stronger, then, that gives you an even more of an upgrade so that you could put a more horsepower, higher arm, or put more magnet in it, or do whatever you want to do. Since we have some time before I run the silver cars and I run the test mule, the very next one we're going to run is a Super 7. And I put it on the ProTinkerToys.com club car because I like the wing cars. So it's got a Super 7 chassis, bone stock. So clean the tires, and we'll see if we can beat a 462, which right now is held by the Mustang by about 1/10 of a second. 1/10 10th and 300s, couple hundreds, yeah. Yep. I tried to go wide open from the first bank all the way around, and it couldn't take it. There's debris on the track. Well, it's already in the 4s if I can get it down in there. If I can drive it. Well, like I said, if I can drive it. Well, let me do something. I want to be fair, because this body is kind of top heavy. I'll put a Ford GT body on it. A front wheel drive? Yeah, that'd be cool. Oh, can't do that. It's got the lowering clip on it, so I may have to be stuck with that one. Let's see if this one will work. That's a big negatory. All right, well, I'm stuck with the PTT one because I can't get into my cabinet right now. So, well, let me see if I can get an import body to work on it. See, I got a lowering clip on it, and so I'm having a trouble running to the wheel wells. Okay, here we go. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but I want to give the Super 7 a fair shot. So I put the Super body on it. All right. Okay, so I can't give you more of a perfect example of how a body will affect a chassis no matter how good the chassis is. So with the charger on there from Pro Tinker Toys that I put, you can see how I had to drive the car a lot more gingerly because the center of gravity was higher. As soon as I put this super body on there, then this thing started to fly. So it's at a new, right now we're at a new fast lap for all the cars that we've tested tonight at a 4.527. And you can see that's pretty consistent in the 450s. So, you know, with more time and more laps, I think I could have probably got it into the 440s. But that's pretty good smoking. So a stock Super 7 just literally outran a modified Mega G Plus by a full tenth. Easy. So very smooth car. Put your NASCAR resin body on. I don't have it by me, Keith, but I before we get into the no show tonight, I'll dig it out. Just remind me, please. I got to get those other guys' chassis up there and run some laps. Put tires on. So Super 7 with Supra body stock and 4.527. And that car just encourages you to go faster. So 505, 462, 629, 526, 21, 645, 475, and 452. So 452 with the Super 7 is where we're at. So now, after all the bragging about how well my chassis run, now I gotta put my money where my mouth is. So let's run the mule. $47 is still kinda? Yeah, KP, I'll trade you. Oh. This thing builds up too much speed for my track, so I have to delay where I push it wide open. Otherwise, it goes too fast and it'll crash. So, well, we're off to a good start. I only ran 2 laps and we already set the fastest lap by over a tenth. So that's a good move. All right. See, I got it too soon. My fault. The car is faster than the traction magnets. On a bank curve, let that sink in for a second. So I actually have to, so those people that say, oh, you got bank corners, you don't have to drive, you get to go wide open. Get you a Viper, get you a hopped up TYCO. You'll see, you have to drive it, even with magnets. Oh yeah. See, I saw that 427, 424, so I was trying to get it into the teams. All right, so I'm going to run 4 more laps with this and put it at an even 100 for the total number of laps here, and then we'll see if I can't break that 424, and then I'm going to start doing the other 3 chassis and get up there and run them and make sure that we can get somewhere in the 420s to the 430s, like I mentioned at the beginning. So just to give you an example, the stock Super 7 went a 4.527, and in less than 10 laps, I've already gone a 424. So that's 0.3 of a second quicker. That's pretty good. I'm trying to push it. Yeah, see. I can run easy 440s, yeah. So, all right, I got one more clean lap, so let me do one more clean lap, so it'll end up being 101. Or if I crash, I'll just stop. But then that'll be we'll get our high speed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So as you can see, I'm pretty confident that with some more laps, I'd be able to pop off another 14 of some kind, 4.1 something or another. But you can also see that it runs consistent 420s, 430s, 440s without crashing. And so if if you didn't have everybody watching you, this is a badass chassis. I'm just saying. I'm going to brag on it because that'll easily put this thing over 670 laps that I put on this thing, and it's still running just as good as it did earlier. So let's get these shoes off of here and let's get the next car on there. The only thing I got to do is swap out the shoes and the tires because I don't want to use up people's silver shoes. Yeah, see, I've already upgraded the O-rings size on it. So all I got to do is swap out the shoes. And since, like I said, they're dual spring, it's not that hard to do. And you notice I'm grabbing the motor and everything, and I'm not getting burned. They run cool. All right, so showing you how quickly I've already removed the old ones, and I'm putting the new the ones I just removed on the ones that I'm taking off. And trust me, if you had a stock TYCO spring in there right now, there is no way you'd be doing what I'm doing. Yeah. All right, there we go. So let me put some oil on it. Sorry, didn't mean to zoom in on everybody. All right, now once again, these are the tires. Sorry if I'm not talking while I'm doing this. I'm reading some of the chat too. Oh, butter. Hopefully it runs like butter. So you guys will be seeing, just to show you, this car's never been on the track. There's one of the shoes that came off. It's never, all I did was test it with a battery. And obviously I didn't even oil it until just now. So this would be like what you guys are going to see. I'm going to give myself 10 laps max to get to that 430 or 420. And if I don't think the car is going to get there, then I'm going to pull it off and then I'll go to the next chassis and know that I've got to work on this one. But if it does get in that range, then I'm going to stop however many laps it takes, because I don't want to wear out somebody's brand new chassis. So that's another reason why I put those shoes on there. So let's see what we can do. Proof's in the pudding. There it is. Bruce, buddy, that's the fastest I've ever had a silver package car go. Ever. I got goosebumps. Goosebumps. You guys don't know how happy I am right now. That is freaking awesome. So you guys tell me, oh no, dude, 3.804. It ran a 380. My Vipers run 350s. Guys, look at the best time. And I backed it up with a 401. So Bruce, Fred, there's your chassis, buddy, and I'm going to build you another one just like it. So we're stopping right there. This thing flies. Oh my God, I got goosebumps. I'm sorry, guys, but that's the fastest I've ever had one of my chassis go with just this much upgrade on it. This is a strong car. Strong. So congratulations, man. Yeah. Thank you, guys. No, I'm not trying to tap my own horn. I'm just saying that that's the fastest I've ever had. And look, guys, look, I'm holding my thumb on the arm. I'm not getting burned. It's not like I'm smoking this thing down to do that. Oh my God, that's so awesome. All right, so let me take these shoes off real quick and put the silver ones on, and I'm going to put it in the bag because it's good to go. Good to go. Man, I am so glad you guys got to see this live. And if you're watching later, I'm sorry if you're thinking no big deal, but it is a big deal to me. So I'm excited. Because that's pretty damn good. That ups the price a little. No, the best part is, guys, is I don't, like I said, I don't, all I do with the parts is charge exactly what the parts are up to whatever the dollar amount is. So if it's 75 cents, I charge $1. If it's $1.50, I charge $2. I don't charge anything for my labor. So if you guys, anybody out there wants to take advantage of it, well, I'm not going to bother putting the new shoes on. I'm just going to take the old ones off in the interest of not boring everybody to death while I'm doing this. I'm sitting here grinning from ear to ear. Is Mark's Stock Car Garage still here? Yes, very stock, dude. This is the very same car you saw run stock. That's what this whole test is all about. Me showing how much I can make a stock arm go with a silver package on with my setup. And so Bruce, just so you know, this is your car. Fred, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the bag. Put the shoes in there with it, so I know I need to add them. And put the tires in there. So this one's Fred's first car right here. He got the first built one. Actually, this one was his, but I made it my test mule because I put so many laps on it. And so I'm going to build him another one just like that. And he can see it run on Friday, like the people that just got theirs on Saturdays. But now I've got one that I need to put those shoes on for Scott and one for Doug. So hopefully we can do the same things again. That would be really cool. I only guarantee they run 420s, 430s. So when they pop off a 380 out of the blue, that's that's pretty damn good. Oh, there's Mark. Yeah, that was a stock 6-ohm arm there, Mark. And you saw me, I just pulled it out of the package. And all I'm doing once again, I'm going to show you guys, this is the first time this car is going to hit the track. I have to sit down for a second. Like I said, I'm sorry. My back's killing me. The shoes this car's never been on the track. It's never been oiled. So just like what I just did is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take off the tires, put the albinos on it, put those ski shoes on it, take the silver shoes off and oil it. And then we're letting her rip, Tater Chip. Yeah, so I hope you guys are as happy with these cars when you get them as I am with my joy that I have right now. Because that is just, yeah. I'm going to go to bed with a big old smile on my face as long as the rest of these run that good. Okay. I don't want to get in too big of a hurry. I don't want to bend any shoes or anything. Like I said, they're a whole lot easier than factory. I'm sitting right here. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat too. Due time. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to have to stop and take a sip here for a second. Yeah. Okay, so once again, all I did was replace the shoes. And here we go. I need to call Dan and tell him I'm giving him a commercial on his albino shoes, and he needs to give me a per diem because I guarantee you people are going to buy these things. if they've hopped up their cars after they see this, if they're interested. All right, let me add some oil and she's ready to burn. All right, we're off to a good start. So I'm not going to try to beat that record, guys. This isn't the point of this show. This is to show the people that bought these chassis that these will run at least a 420 to a 430. So, you know, if they don't run that fast from here on out, just know that was the exception to the rule. That's why I'm so excited. I've never had one with those parts run like that. So that tells me that arm is the bomb. Now I don't want to crash. Oh, okay. Well, I know I can push this car harder if I want to, but I'm not going to keep doing it because I'm just literally just being a pansy. So, I mean, if you guys want me to keep running this car until I get a 430 out of it, I will. But this is running typical of what they build like. But here, let me clean the tires and I'll give it the college try for another 5 laps or 4 laps, and we'll see. I don't want to keep crashing somebody's chassis and burning it up. I got on the roll with the other ones, the reason why I didn't stop, which is kind of cool that I didn't. All right, there we go. I thought we got a 434, so bingo is his name on. Oh, nice, Recant. Thanks for joining back in, man. So I'm calling that one good because it hit my 430 range, and honestly, that's brand new, so it's going to get faster the more you break in the brushes, guys. That's what makes that 380 even more impressive. So I don't know that this one's going to ever run a 380 like that one did, but I fully expect it would run 420, 14 if once it's broke in and you drive it. So once again, going in the bag. Oh, I got to pull the shoes off first, and I will put the shoes back on. I'm just doing that to show the people that bought their cars that. You called Dan by accident. Here we go, in the bag. Sealed up, and I'll reassemble the shoes on it, obviously, before I sell it off. So, all right. Once again, I'm going to show you another brand new chassis, never been ran, never been on the track, just been tested with a 9-volt battery. And so let me swap out the shoes and the tires, and we'll get it on the track. Anybody got any questions? While I'm sitting here, I forgot to get a drink of Mountain Dew, so that's why I'm asking, because I'm going to stop right now. And I noticed the StreamYard comments are a lot slower in my, oops, I already turned off the phone. So once again, there's the Viper ski shoes that if you ever don't want to upgrade to the silver shoes, you can see they work pretty damn good. Sorry, I'm oily. Dude, I use the silver because it's a better electrical conductor. In the conductivity chart, it goes silver, I think brass and then gold, or maybe then gold and then brass, but I know silver's the best. So let me put the albinos on there. I've already got oil on it. Slap it on there and make some noise, light some sparks and melt some plastic. I don't care how many times you think you got your tire square. Always roll it while you got it out in your hand, just to make sure it's square. Because even with these dual flange hubs, you cannot seat it correctly all the way, and it'll have a wobble in it. And any wobble is just going to make you slower. So. Yeah, that thing spins like butter. All right, here we go. All right, I'm stopping right there. This is a runner. I don't have to go anymore. Shit, it ran a 466 and a 425, a 413, a 416, and a 410. Yeah, it's good. That was quick and easy. Pretty damn fast. So I'm taking those shoes off. Just like before. So yeah, Scott, you got a hell of a car. Douglas, you got a hell of a car. Bruce, you're going to have two hell of a cars because you'll get to see your second one run on Friday to make sure that it runs, like I said, within my guaranteed time on my track of a 420 to a 430. And so far, every single one of them's done it and exceeded that to some degree. And that's pretty damn cool. And let's see here. I'm building, so this Friday, here. So this Friday, if you want to tune in, I'll have built six more of these chassis. And they're going to go to, one of them's going to be for Fred for his second one. So we'll start there. And then I've got one for Mr. Benito, Danny Sosa. Randy is going to have me hop up his Corvette that he got. I'll show it off. And Randy, I was looking at one of your videos. Knocked off my ceramic coating. Looking at one of your videos. I can't remember which one. I apologize, but it had that Ford Motorcraft tractor trailer in the back. Man, that looks badass. So I'll be building a chassis for Randy's Corvette that he bought. And then my buddy Adam decided he wanted another chassis for his track. So we'll have 6 of those bad boys. And so Douglas, yeah, man, you got you a great running chassis. Yeah. Fred, Bruce, yeah, you know you did too. Scott, you saw, all 3 of you guys saw your chassis basically run, and one of them just literally set a track record for my builds with this combination of parts of the 3.80 seconds. So just to give you guys an idea of who's the king of the hill out of all the cars we tested tonight. Silver package, TYCO 440 times 2, 3.804. That's the bomb. So I want to give a quick rundown again. So just to give you guys an idea in case somebody's tuning in late or they've skipped and they missed some of the stuff that I did first. The first car I ran was a bone stock factory Mega G Plus, their new F1 Indies Alfa Romeo with stock tires on it, and it ran a 5.005. I then ran my red Mustang that has 1 extra traction magnet, stock hubs, and Viper tires, and got it down to a 4.622. A stock 440 with times 2 with a rear was a 6.292 with the stock rubber tires. And then when I added the Viper rear end single flange with the super tires wide 438, it dropped it down to a 5.26. And then we ran the Magnum body F1, and with the sponge tires, it was mission impossible. The fastest I could do was a 21.22. And then when I put the rear end in it, I got that bad boy down to a 6.452 with those super tire 438s and the Viper single flange 250 rear hub. And then I have a modified TYCO 440 that I put a set of the Black Cat Racing Neo magnets in, that same rear end from TYCO with the Viper, I'm sorry, with the same super tires with the 438 diameter, and the only difference it had was it had stock springs, but it does have silver shoes on it, and I got that bad boy down to 4.75, and that's really respectable. So I was really impressed. And then the new king of the hill, believe it or not, it dethroned all those tired TYCOs, even though they were brand new. And I put a Super 7, brand new Harden Creek Super 7 chassis, underneath the Toyota Supra, and it ran a 4.52. And then that was king of the hill until the old silver package TYCO that I'm building ran a 3.804, which is well, almost 2 seconds, 1.7, somewhere in there, something like that. So pretty impressive. So, and like I said, this particular one right here has ran 670 laps, and it's still running like a champ. So next time I do another set of 4 on this next Saturday night, if you're interested, or you buy a TYCO that for me or somebody else, or you have one, let me know. I'm more than happy to share the parts list. Everybody that buys a chassis gets a parts list that is included with it, with the part number. So if they want to build their own, they can. I don't hide anything, guys. Watch the other video from a week ago this Monday, and you can see the tips that I do for like rolling the commutator where the brushes ride. That came, like from Vito Man 50. G-Bud and Mark Slockhart Garage gave me the tip to try to do the extra downforce on the magnets. Honestly, with setting them up with high mag, high downforce, low downforce. Honestly, the car ran just as quick both ways, but the quickest lap time was with that setup. So that's exactly what I'll be doing from here forward. And if you did buy one of those chassis, I will have marked the white side traction magnet with a silver Sharpie. So all of those have a silver dot on them, so you'll know which one's the high downforce side. So if you want to loosen it up, just swap those traction magnets over and you'll be in low downforce magnet mode. So got that done. So upgraded the O-rings. They come with a 360 O-ring independent front end from Wizard, and I upgraded those to around I think it's a 4.0 or a 410. But anyway, no marks on the bottom of the chassis. It doesn't drag. It doesn't get hot. They're badass, man. That's all I can say. Yeah, badass. Anybody got any questions on anything while I'm sitting here? Sorry, I have to sit down for a second, and I'll move the computer. There we go. Because I know I still got 33 people here. I was going to try to do it in just an hour because of my back and stuff, but yeah. So Douglas and Scott, I will get your invoices out to you later tonight, and then Bruce, Fred, we're going to wait until Friday till you get to see your second car run, and then I'll get that out Friday night. But you can wait until Saturday in case there's something on Saturday night that you win on an auction. Because I've got some killer cars coming in. You guys are going to love them. Trust me. If I had more money, I'd be buying them. But right now, as you can tell, I'm buying a lot of parts. Give you an idea. This is just one of the 2 boxes right here that I got today from Wizard. Here's the invoice. Yeah. $136. And that's the cheap invoice, because the expensive one is the one that comes from Viper, because that's where I buy all the magnets from, and that's where the money's at. And that's why I use the stock arms, because the arms are where I add extra money. So yeah, you guys, with those few upgrades that I've made, Rick, if you're still here, if you get to watch this later, or anybody else that's bought one of my silver package TYCO cars with that chassis, with those very same parts, the only thing I changed was the independent front end from a solid one and to the albino tires from Super Tires, and I literally just set a record for my builds tonight, and you guys got to watch it, so I am tickled pink. So I am no pro. I'm no master. I'm not claiming to be. Just because I did something good one time doesn't mean I'm going to be able to replicate it a million times. But as you guys could see, I am able to guarantee my car will run within a certain time frame, and it will beat Super 7. It will beat a Mega G Plus. It'll beat a hopped up Mega G Plus, and obviously it's going to be the stock TYCO. So I think they're pretty good. Okay, will do, Keith. Well, guys, I haven't had dinner. My dog's been pacing back and forth. I don't know if that means she's hungry or if she's getting ready to take a dookie on the floor. Either way, I understand because I'm hungry. I haven't had dinner yet either. I was busy trying to get everything set up with camera angles and stuff. But as long as nobody has any questions, I'm going to kind of wrap it up tonight with a promotion for Bob at the Electric Avenue. Tomorrow night, he's got his virtual slot car league going. I believe it's at 6:30. Don't kill me if I'm wrong. Bob, great guy. A lot of great people show up on that. Great time. I strongly suggest it. I'll have it on this TV while I'm building chassis tomorrow night. Wednesday night, we have my buddy Adam with the original Adam Hurt, Adam Slot Cars and More. Stop by and see Adam, Alex, and Brianna. Tell them hi, hello, and thank you for their friendship and support of the hobby as well. And then Thursday nights, we have ProTinkerToys.com. They have their auction night, and then an hour after that, then they have their race night. And at the very same time their race night starts, you can go over to Kenton's channel if you want to. Kenton is Slot Cars and HO Trains, and he has Pimp Your Layout, and you can go by and check that out. So if you don't want to create a YouTube channel to put on videos and live feeds, that's a great way to show off your stuff, your collection, a new car you may have got. Rich's Slot Car Room stuck his camera on the train and let it go around his upper room. That was badass. If you haven't gone by and seen Todd with Toju Racing's Monday Ramble, definitely go by and check that out. And go by and check out his first-person view video he's got. He stuck a GoPro on one of his cars and ran it around the track. So if you've ever wanted to see what it was like, what your driver saw if you were in the car, that is pretty cool. And then, like I mentioned at the very beginning, go to G-Bud's channel, check out the show about Jim Benito's, Jim Slot Car Obsessions truck and trailer that he made for him. And then when you're done watching that video, go to Mr. Benito's, Jim Slot Car Obsessions channel, and then you can actually watch him go to the mailbox, get it, open it up, put it on the track, and run it around. And so Friday night, you're going to be right back here if you want to be. We'll see those other 6 chassis. I'm building 6 of them. We're going to do the same thing we did tonight. I'll already have them all set up, but the only thing I'll do is put those shoes on so that I don't ruin up the silver shoes for the people that bought them, and we'll put them on the track and make some laps so they can see what they all purchased. So, guys, thank you so much. I will see you, I guarantee you, at some point in time throughout the week, but I know you'll see me for sure on Wednesday night on Adam's show. So until then, guys, get out there, light some sparks and melt some plastic. Thank you guys for putting up for all this, and I hope the people that bought the chassis are just as happy as I am with their performance, and I think you're going to be even happier when you get them on your track and have some fun. So thanks, guys. Have a good rest of your Monday night. I'll see you on Wednesday night. Take care.